Is weird yoga actually ruining the practice? Let's talk about it. Because somewhere in the world right now, somebody is doing yoga with goats climbing on their back. Somebody is doing yoga with puppies and with bunnies. Somebody's doing yoga while holding a beer, a wine glass. Somebody's doing yoga to hip hop music, R&B music. Somebody is doing yoga in a way that would make some traditional practitioners say, that is not yoga. And honestly, real talk, I understand why people feel that way. Because yoga is not just a workout. It's a practice that has existed for thousands of years. And for many traditions, yoga was never about getting the perfect pose for Instagram. Yoga was never about getting fit to fit in a swimsuit or prepare for summer body. It was about self-awareness. It was about discipline. It was about mastering the mind. It was about liberation, freeing ourselves. So the question becomes, have we taken something sacred and turned it into a trend? Or are these modern forms of yoga actually helping people discover the practice? Let's talk about both sides, because I think this conversation is more complicated than people actually realize. On one side, you have the traditionalists, and they have valid concerns. They say that when yoga becomes only about the physical poses, or when yoga becomes gimmicky, when yoga has all these extra things, it loses a deeper purpose. Because yoga was never just about flexibility. It was about the relationship between mind, body, spirit, the breathing, the awareness, the philosophy, the inner transformation. And when in yoga is reduced to a photo op or a fitness trend or a farm activity, something meaningful can get lost. There's also a real conversation around cultural respect. Yoga has roots in ancient India and ancient Africa. It's etched on the stone of temples. It carries thousands of years of history, philosophy, and spiritual teachings. So when modern culture removes the roots completely and only keeps the aesthetic, it can create a disconnect. And I think it's important to acknowledge that. It's important we honor where yoga comes from. Yes, we should learn the traditions. Yes, we should respect the wisdom that has been passed down for generations. However, here's where I think the conversation gets interesting. Because yoga has also always evolved. Throughout history, yoga has adapted. It has adapted across cultures, across communities, across generations, across languages. There has never been one single organization controlling what yoga is allowed to be. Yoga has always been a living practice. And here's the question I think we have to ask. Is the goal of yoga to protect a perfect version of the practice? Or is the goal of yoga to help more human beings find peace? Because let's be honest, the modern wellness world can sometimes feel intimidating. A lot of people walk into a yoga studio and immediately think, I can't afford this. I'm not flexible enough. I'm not experienced enough. I'm not skinny enough. I don't look like the people in these photos. I don't look like the people in this studio. This isn't for someone like me. And that just breaks my heart. Because yoga was never supposed to be a practice only for people who already feel comfortable, people who are already connected. Yoga is supposed to meet people where they are. And sometimes that's the thing that someone uses to get through the door. It's not a silent meditation room. Sometimes it's music. Sometimes it's community. Sometimes it's laughter. Sometimes it's something unexpected. Maybe it's a goat. Maybe it's different style of music. Maybe it's different style of movement. Maybe it's an environment where somebody finally feels safe enough to take their first deep breath. And here's something I learned throughout my own journey. After I was diagnosed with lupus in 2009, yoga became a tool that helped me reconnect my body and my life, my mind and my spirit. But the transformation wasn't because I learned how to make a pose look perfect. The transformation came because yoga taught me how to be present, how to breathe, how to listen, how to create peace within myself. And that's what I believe we have to protect. Not necessarily one specific style of yoga, but the essence of the practice, the essence of the connecting. Because if someone walks into a weird yoga class and for the first time in years they slow down, they breathe, they connect with their body, they release stress that they've been holding for decades. Is that really a failure of yoga? Or is that yoga doing what it was always meant to do? Now, does that mean anything can be called yoga? I don't think so. Intention matters. Awareness matters. Respect matters. And if we remove all connection to the practice's roots and turn it into nothing more than a marketing gimmick, then yes, we lose something. We lose something valuable. But if a creative approach helps someone begin a journey toward greater awareness, greater healing, greater connection, then maybe that doorway has value. Maybe the question isn't, is this traditional enough? Maybe the question is this helping people move closer to themselves? Because yoga has always been about union. The word yoga comes from the Sanskrit root meaning to yoke or unite, to bring things together. The mind, the body, the breath, the self. And maybe that means yoga has room for tradition and innovation. Room for honoring the past while creating access for the future. So my challenge to you is this. If something creative gets you on the mat, let it be the beginning. Don't stop at the surface. Go deeper. And if you see someone practicing weird form of yoga, don't judge. Offer additional support. Let them have support while they explore the history, the breath work, the connection. Because the most powerful part of yoga isn't the pose. It's what happens inside you. And that's something no trend can take away. That's why my mission has become so much bigger than teaching yoga poses. My mission is to spread world peace through inner peace. Because whether someone finds yoga through meditation, movement, music, community, or something completely unexpected, the world needs more people who know how to breathe, to regulate and reconnect. So if you're a yoga teacher, yes, keep doing that. If you're an aspiring yoga teacher, yes, keep studying, keep practicing. If you're someone who believes yoga can create meaningful change in the world and you'd like to learn how to do that with intention, I invite you to join us. On Sunday at 7 p.m., I teach a free session where we can explore how yoga can become a vehicle for leadership, opportunity, and positive impact in the world. The details, they're in the caption, so check it out. Bring your notebook, bring your questions, and bring your vision for a better world. Because yoga has survived thousands and thousands of years by evolving. And maybe the next evolution of yoga is helping more people discover peace within themselves. I'll see you in class. Peace.